Good evening. Welcome to California Today. I'm Liang Zhang. Here is a preview of some of today's stories. The aftermath of California's latest storm left tens of thousands of homes without power. Mudslides and floods kept many residents under evacuation orders. The state's reservoirs are refilling, but most of the recent rainwater isn't being captured. One expert says nearly 95% of the stormwater flows back into the ocean. Alleged Antifa members reportedly assaulted the members of the press and bystanders during a rally at the state capitol. Police say they have arrested a suspect. Thousands remain under evacuation orders in California after Tuesday's storm brought mudslides and more flooding to the state on Wednesday. Tens of thousands of homes and businesses were left without power. NTD's Cause Temenes has the details.
Tuesday's storm was the 11th atmospheric river in California this season, dumping more torrential rain on the state through Wednesday. In San Clemente, a beachfront community between Los Angeles and San Diego, blufftop properties were evacuated due to landslides.
The concern that we have right now is that there's still more earth that is sloughing off right now as we speak. And so right now we're working with the Orange County Sheriff's Department, staff from the city of San Clemente. We also have a geologist on scene, and we're trying to figure out what's the extent of this problem and what's the next step here.
Residents were evacuated after a landslide left 3 apartment structures at risk of collapse, including one where a backyard swimming pool was left dangling over the precipice.
And then when it went, it took the entire backyard, and then it took part of the neighbor's retaining wall, the corner of the retaining wall, went with it. And then I live right here on the corner, and I was basically right there drinking coffee, and I heard it and felt it kind of shook a little bit, the building, and it basically took the whole backyard out with it when it broke. And it's still kind of settling right now. Still pieces of it kind of falling.
Officials say over 20,000 people in the flood zone remained under evacuation orders or warnings. According to Power Outage US, nearly 170,000 properties remained without power across the state as of Wednesday. Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency in 43 of California's 58 counties. Emergency shelters were put up.
We do have, as I speak, 31 shelters that are operating in 14 counties in the state of California.
California was hit by 9 atmospheric rivers in rapid succession from late December through mid-January, causing widespread flooding, levee failures, mudslides, and punishing surf. At least 20 people perished. But this is not likely the end of the extreme weather. A 12th atmospheric river is expected to hit the state next week. Cos Temenes, NTD News.
Speaking of the storms, it looks like most of the rainwater is washing away. According to the CEO of the California United Water Coalition, as much as 95% is flushed to the ocean.
California has been hit with one storm after another. Unfortunately, not much of it is getting stored. California Insider CM Karami sits down with Mark Nakata, a multi-generational farmer and CEO of California United Water Coalition. He gives an insider perspective on what farmers are facing in the state and his efforts to save his family farm and tradition.
It is disheartening to watch all that water go out to the ocean, because what we need to capture that water, and here in the San Joaquin Valley, we need to put that water back in the ground. We need to fill our underground reservoirs. And so there are many communities that either have no water or very little water.
Nakata says there's a lot of regulation that keeps them from keeping the water. Farmers have increased their efficiency in water usage by 50 to 80% to use less water.
When our surface water got cut back to between 0 and 5%, we ended up having to start to pump more groundwater. And then when the surface water got taken from us and we could no longer recharge the groundwater, then it's put us in a very bad position. And just to let you know, last year there were over 732,000 acres of farmland that went out of business. And the governor wants another 1 million acres to go out this year.
According to Nakata, the farming industry is shrinking from factors like overregulation, low farm prices, and shipping issues. This leads to food insecurity, like when egg prices skyrocketed.
There's a gentleman who just hung it up, and he's one of the largest egg producers, and it was going to cost him $5 million to retrofit his operation to meet the current regulations, and he just decided to hang it up. I'm done.
So he shut down the business?
Shut the business down, and he's not coming back. And see, the thing is that when all these businesses shut down, they're great people that are skilled, they go somewhere else. And
do
so
they go to other states?
Other states, or get involved in other businesses, but they don't come back to California. They don't come back to farming.
In addition, there are fewer people studying agriculture in college because they feel like there's no future. Nakata is a fourth-generation Japanese American. His whole family has farmed in the valley for 120 years.
My own kids are wondering whether they should even try it, because they're saying, Dad, doesn't look like there's a future. And I can't tell them they're wrong. So it's very hard, because many of us work our whole lives to build what we have, and for our kids to not have that opportunity, it's really hard on your soul.
In addition, prices for labor and supplies that go into farming, like fertilizer, have gone up. Therefore, prices for fruits and vegetables cannot stay low. Water remains one of the biggest roadblocks. On March 13th, Governor Gavin Newsom announced that he signed an executive order to make it easier to capture floodwater from storms. The plan would divert floodwaters from the San Joaquin River to replenish groundwater.
To watch the full program, find California Insider on YouTube or Epic TV on the Epic Times website. Last week in Sacramento, the extremist group known as Antifa allegedly assaulted multiple journalists and bystanders across the street from the state's capital. The unprovoked attack happened while journalists and observers were setting up to document a planned and permitted rally.
On March 10th, over 100 trans activists carrying the Antifa insignia and wielding clubs allegedly attacked multiple journalists and spectators near the state capitol. The activists were counter-protesting a planned and permitted detransitioning awareness rally. A detransitioner is someone who has either socially or medically transitioned their gender, but later regretted the decision and re-embraced their original birth gender. About an hour before the rally, counter-protesters were heard shouting at more than 24 officers. The activists assaulted at least 4 journalists who were photographing and filming the mayhem, including a TV crew whose cameras were damaged. A spectator was also wounded and had to take refuge on the Capitol grounds. In an email to the Epic Times, the Sacramento Police Department says that officers have already arrested 31-year-old Joseph Conradson for multiple accounts of assault with a deadly weapon and multiple accounts of assault with force likely to produce great bodily injury. Police investigations are still ongoing. The department encourages victims and witnesses to call the dispatch center at 916-808-5471 or the Sacramento Valley Crime Stoppers at 916-443-4357.
Last year, Gavin Newsom signed a new law making California a sanctuary state for minors from out of state seeking transgender procedures. Earlier this month, a lawsuit was filed in a federal court by an advocate group who says the law violates parental rights in every state.
Governor Gavin Newsom and Attorney General Rob Bonta are being sued over a bill signed last year that declared the state as a, quote, sanctuary state for minors seeking transgender medical procedures or medications. SB 107 allows the state of California to legally take emergency jurisdiction over a minor from out of state who is seeking gender-affirming care. It also blocks the child's parents from accessing any medical information on the child's gender-affirming health care. On March 7th, advocates for faith and freedom filed the lawsuit on behalf of the nonprofit organization Our Watch. According to a press release by the Advocates for Faith and Freedom, Mariah Gondiro, legal counsel for the group, says that SB 107 is dangerous. She says, quote, "Parents, not the government, are best suited to decide whether their child should undergo life-altering drugs and surgeries that will impair their ability to become a parent later in life." The legal complaint says that SB 107 violates a parent's fundamental and constitutional right to raise their children. It also alleges that the law violates the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment and the Full Faith and Credit Clause of the other 49 states. The nonprofit group is demanding a trial by jury and seeking injunctive relief and a judicial declaration that SB 107 is unconstitutional.
We are going to take a short break, but here's a look at what we got for you when we come back. Google continues to compete with Microsoft in AI technology. Google Bard is Google's answer to ChatGPT. A judge recently ruled against an old California law that bans crocodile products. Retailers say the ruling will protect the supply chain and Louisiana's local economy. And Los Angeles honored the late basketball player Kobe Bryant. His handprints and footprints are the newest addition to the Hollywood's Walk of Fame. That and more on California Today. Welcome back to California Today. I'm your host, Liang Zhang. Google continues to compete closely with Microsoft in artificial intelligence. Now that Microsoft has implemented its AI chatbot into business platforms like Salesforce, Google is putting its AI into Google Cloud and Google Workspace. NTD's Sean Marshall has more on the story.
Google announced several tools to allow businesses to use generative AI in ways to discover and harmonize corporate data. The company released videos yesterday on how Google Workspace will incorporate AI to help compose emails, rewrite letters, and create marketing materials. I spoke with James Barlow, a premier tier consultant on Amazon Web Services, about his uses of AI in providing business solutions.
Helping draft agreements, right? It can't be the letter of the law or the end-all be-all, but it can be a good starting point, for going to market, maybe different products we want to offer, and getting an idea of, hey, how should we define, this agreement? How should we define this go-to-market strategy?
Google appears to be threatened by Microsoft's public release of OpenAI's chatbot search engine integration. They've jumped ahead of Microsoft's scheduled public announcements twice now. After Microsoft announced last week that it was holding an event this Thursday to talk about AI in the workplace, Google subsequently scheduled news of their business AI integration Tuesday and briefed reporters on it Monday. A similar incident happened last month when Google pushed out an announcement about adding its Bard AI chatbot to its search engine. This was before Microsoft could announce plans to add OpenAI's technology into Bing and Edge. A new study released by KPMG finds that 85% of businesses surveyed expect to be using more AI in the coming years, but nearly 2/3 don't have any AI risk management processes. Barlow mentioned his own experience using the GPT chatbot for business.
It's really accelerating how fast we can actually do things that we would typically spend days or hours on, and reducing that down to in some cases minutes, which is fantastic.
While Microsoft has the edge in gaining a name in mainstream media first, Google still reigns supreme as the #1 search engine and can learn from Microsoft's mistakes. Sean Marshall, NTD News.
A federal judge has ruled against California's ban on selling and importing alligator and crocodile products. Retailers appreciate the ruling because the California ban would have completely disrupted the entire supply chain and removed over millions of dollars from Louisiana's annual economy. U.S. District Court Chief Judge Kimberly Mueller issued a ruling on March 6 to allow the import and sale of alligator and crocodile products. The ruling is against the 1970 California law banning such products. But over the years, the ban was not enforced as the state lawmakers issued exemptions to allow sales, and those exemptions expired at the end of 2019, paving the way for a prohibition to take effect. In December 2019, retailers in Texas, Louisiana, Florida, and California joined the state of Louisiana seeking to stop the state from enforcing the ban. Under the Endangered Species Act, American alligators are not federally listed as threatened or endangered. In the judgment, Mueller found the Federally Endangered Species Act allowing the import and sale of these products overruled the state's ban. Many retailers said they appreciate the ruling. California lawmakers recently aimed to grant $1,000 per month to homeless high school students. This is to help senior students cover basic needs so they may take crucial steps toward college or their career.
This year, California lawmakers proposed a bill that would provide homeless high school seniors 5 monthly installments of $1,000 from April to August 2024. State Senator Dave Cortese of District San Jose introduced Senate Bill 333 on February 7th. The bill proposed to establish a program called Success, Opportunity, and Academic Resilience, or SOAR, to provide the fund. According to a 2020 report of University of California, Los Angeles, 15,000 out of 270,000 homeless youths across the state are high school seniors. Cortese said, quote, "We must stop graduating 15,000 high school students into homelessness each year." Terry Ollie, California campaign director of the Economic Security Project, echoed Cortese's statement, quote, "Helping young adults during the crucial transition from high school to college or career allows them to clear away obstacles and position themselves to create the life they want." The bill is a reintroduction of State Senate Bill 1341, also introduced by Cortese last year. Though it died in the Assembly, it was incorporated as a $35 million pilot program in the 2021-2022 state budget. The State Senate Education Committee will hear the bill on March 29th.
Los Angeles honored the late basketball player Kobe Bryant by displaying his handprints and footprints on the historic Hollywood Walk of Fame. His coach and family were present to participate in the event.
Kobe Bryant's handprints and footprints were unveiled in a permanent display in the forecourt of the TCL Chinese Theater. He became the first athlete to have his hands and feet imprinted in cement at the theater in February 2011. Byron Scott, a former professional basketball coach, said he met Bryant at age 18 during a rookie transitional period in Orlando. Scott was Bryant's advisor at the time.
I remember sitting down with Kobe on the bench and I asked him, I said, "What do you want to accomplish in the NBA?" And he looked me straight in my eye and he said, "I want to be one of the greatest ever." And we kind of stared at each other for about 5 seconds and I looked at him and I said, "You will be." I understood at 18 years old this kid's work ethic, his commitment, his dedication to the game, and I knew at that time that he would achieve greatness.
From the moment that good fortune and a great trade brought Kobe to us in 1996, he wove his way into the tapestry of this city in a way no sports fan or even non-sports fan will ever forget. The numbers tell a story. More than 33,000 points, a first ballot Hall of Famer, an Oscar and Emmy winner, and most important to him, a 5-time NBA champion.
I don't think a lot of people understood. Besides his family, I was probably the first person that he told that he was retiring after that second year of playing in Portland. When he told me after the game that he was going to retire, but just to keep it between us. And I think we all know how he ended his career with the 60-point game against Utah, the last game at then Staples Centers. I remember him coming off the floor and just telling me that, giving me a hug and just telling me he loved me, and I said, "I love you as well." He was a very unique person, loved his family.
Members of Bryant's family also attended.
Being a dad of 4 girls is definitely not easy, but despite the NBA and Lakers schedules, he always made sure to support me and my sisters, Gianna, Bianca, and Capri. At our recitals, games, tournaments, and any monumental moment you can think of. Being his daughter is one of the greatest joys in my life, and I hope to continue to embody and cherish the many lessons he has taught me.
41-year-old Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna died in a helicopter crash in January 2020. He had a 20-year career with the Lakers before retiring in 2016.
Now let's check in with NTD's Tyler Castillo for today's Sports Roundup.
Welcome, I'm Tyler Castillo and I'm taking you through the California Today Sports Roundup. Cal Palmieri collected 1 goal in a career-best 4-point game against his former team, and Brock Nelson scored twice to lead visiting New York past Anaheim. Pierre Engvall and Zach Parise both netted 1 goal and 1 assist, while Hudson Fasching also scored for the Islanders, who snapped a 2-game losing streak. Adam Pelech posted 2 assists, and goaltender Ilya Sorokin made 20 saves. The Islanders sit in the Eastern Conference second wildcard spot, 5 points up on 2 teams. Kevin Shattenkirk scored twice, and Max Jones added a single for the Ducks, who are 5-2-3 in their past 10 games. Goalie John Gibson stopped 27 shots. Islanders 6, Ducks 3. Kevin Porter Jr. scored a game-high 27 points to mark his 7th game in double figures as Houston defeated visiting short-handed Los Angeles. Porter was 11 for 16 shooting from the floor and added 9 rebounds and 6 assists to his ledger. All 5 Rockets starters scored in double figures, while Jae'Sean Tate produced 13 points off the bench. The Lakers, playing without LeBron James and Anthony Davis, shot just 37.8%. Austin Reeves scored a team-high 24 points off the bench, while D'Angelo Russell paired 18 points with 7 assists, and Jared Vanderbilt had 13 points with 10 rebounds. Rockets 114, Lakers 110. Kawhi Leonard scored 30 points and Paul George added 24 as Los Angeles extended their resurgence with a victory over Golden State. As the Warriors' road woes continued despite 50 points from Stephen Curry. Terrence Mann added 17 points, Eric Gordon had 16, and Russell Westbrook delivered 15 for the Clippers, who extended their winning streak to 4 games following a 5-game losing streak. Ivica Zubac had 19 points and 16 rebounds for Los Angeles. Curry shot 20 of 28 from the field and 8 of 14 from 3-point range for the Warriors during his 9th career 50-point game. He scored 21 points in the 3rd quarter alone on the day after his 35th birthday. Jordan Poole added 19 for Golden State, which saw its road losing streak reach 9 games. Clippers 134, Warriors 126. Thanks for tuning in to the California Today Sports Roundup.
That's all we've got for you tonight. We would like you to join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. Make sure to check out our broadcasts on our California Today webpage. You can find it at ntd.com/California-today. You can also find all of our top latest clips there, ready to share with friends and family. Send us a message on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or through our email, california.today@ntd.com. I'm Liang Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.